If you don't know something, do you believe that it doesn't exist? Do you believe that? It takes me to the next question. If there is a way to pay off your mortgage in approximately 5 years, would you want to know how? So over the next 30 odd minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly who Landmark is, our core services, and what we do. Today is all about how you can be getting a better result doing what you're currently doing. It's about how you can move away from the tax office, the banks, the interest, and look at some alternative ways to be able to potentially create transformational change.
In the seminar room is to, if you want to know how to pay off your home mortgage earlier.
That's me.
Hear from the expert from Landmark Investment on if there was a way to pay off your home mortgage in 5 years. Would you want to take a look?
Thank you. So I'm Francesca Bellotta, and I am a senior consultant with Landmark Investments. I'm Francesca with an A. Yes, feminine. O is masculine. So I've been with Landmark for some time now, started in the property business in 2009, and from that point on, I realised that the system was flawed. You see, this is what I know. See, you don't know me, but I already know a little bit about all of you. Okay, number one, most of you here are still working. Number two, if you're working, I know you're paying taxes. For those that are on a high income bracket, you're paying a lot of taxes. Then, most of you have mortgages. And 95% of you that have a mortgage, I know you're on a principal and interest for approximately 30 years. But the thing is, it's flawed. It's more than 30. Because a lot of us go and refinance for how long? Another 30 years. So I'm going to share with you some information that can be transformational. It really just depends on where you are at this point in time. So, like you've sourced other information here today, this is basically general for educational purposes only. It's not advice, it's just general advice. It's based on experience and opinions. Take what you like, leave what you don't. But it's important that you gather what you need to. So we often say, look before you play, but it's important to play. Don't become an academic, because academics know a lot, but without action, it's just information. Anyone agree on that? So it's really important that you do your due diligence. Now, let me share with you about who Landmark is and what we do. Unlike most businesses that fail within the first 5 years, Landmark Investments has been around, it's in its third decade. So we've been around for 26 years. So if you don't know us, we've been around probably longer than, some of you have been alive. So we've helped over 10,000 clients achieve their property goals. And our point of difference at Landmark is that we have a mastermind alliance of specialists all under the one umbrella, under the one roof. So whether it is property specialists, property lawyers, managers, accountants, tax experts, self-managed super fund experts, everything that you need to achieve your property goal is under the one roof. We all sing the same song. So everything starts at a goal and a purpose. You see, what I know is every booth here have invaluable information that can, like the gentleman that just speaking before, I just learned some great things from there about the 5 senses in the home. So there's great information here, but without implementing it, then it's just information. So it's important that whatever your property goals is, one thing is to get property, but the other thing is why the hell do you want it? And what do you want it to do for you? So what is the purpose behind your reason why? So we always say, hey, we've got a strategy that can pay off a mortgage in approximately 5 years, but it depends on your priorities and what you really want to do as to whether it will happen or not. So everything comes down with where the biggest pull is coming from, right? Because it's not about, it's like a navigator. Without plugging in the destination, then we're just going to end up in no man's land. We need to know, we don't have to know how to get it, That's what the experts are for. But you need to know what you want. So who here would like to pay off a home loan in approximately 5 years? Anyone? You've all paid them off. Great, fantastic. Who here would like to retire in approximately 10 years, financially secure, financially strong? Or do you know someone? I'm sure we all know someone, okay? So these are common goals that all of us have. In fact, the 4 most common goals are the 2 I just mentioned. Another one, for those of you that are parents, we know, me being a parent myself, we want to give our kids a better opportunity that we had, right? So children's education is really important. And of course, depending on the cash flow, we all would like to help others a little bit more. So these are common goals that we all have, and they're very important. Now, and before I mention the next part, can we all agree there's a lot in our lives that we can't control? A lot we can't control. There is some that we can. So from my experience and what I've learned with Landmark, own what you can control. It's if you fail to plan to fail. So Landmark can help you control these 3 areas, which is part of those common goals. Number 1, we've got the strategy to pay off your home loan in 5 years. Number 2, we've got a plan that enables our clients to retire financially free, whatever that means to you. And by default, you will be in a position where you will save hundreds of thousands of dollars on income tax, unnecessary repayments to the tax office. So let's talk about some realities that are happening in our world right now. There are some really good ones and there are some ugly ones. Let's start off with the good ones. So as we can all agree, there's a lot of insecurity and instability in the economy, but one of the good things that's going to help our economy is immigration. Now we all know, and if you don't, we can expect at least 300,000 skilled migrants to come onto our shores annually. That's great. Great for the economy, great for the cost of living, it will reduce it, and it will stimulate our economy even more. Some of the ugly things, and that's a reality right now, number 1, wage stagnation. It's a big problem. Wages aren't going anywhere, but inflation is, and interest is as well. That is putting an enormous pressure on a lot of households. And number 2, interest rates and inflation. Now, the worst is yet to come when it comes to interest rates. I don't know about you, but I'm a realist. I like facts, I like science, because it is what it is. Now, one of the realities is that if you look at historical data, over any 30-year period, interest rates are an average of 8.6%. Okay, the average interest rate over 30 years is 8.6%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know we're roughly around 4.5, 4.7. So it is a reality, it will double. And the people that are prepared will weather the storm. Okay, but we need to be prepared. And so for those of you that are in a position to invest, with the right strategy, if you can hold on to your current homes and you are in a position to invest, number 1, you'll be glad to know that guess what? Housing prices are going to rapidly increase over the next 5 years. So those that are in a position to invest, you're going to be ahead of the rest. Number 1, you'll be able to get rid of the biggest pain point in our life, which is the bad debt, the mortgage. And number 2, you'll be able to position yourself ahead of the rest in a significantly short period of time with the right strategy and with being prepared. So, again, I told you I'm a realist, I like facts. This is a reality right here. And I encourage everybody to really look at these numbers, because I don't know about you, but I certainly don't want to fall into them. So the reality in Australia today, anybody that retires, out of every 100 individuals that are 65 and over, only 1 out of 100 will retire on Australian soil considered wealthy. 4 out of every 100 retirees will retire financially free. 3 out of every 100 will have to continue working. And look at that last number. 92 out of every 100 will have to depend on government assistance. Okay, now, the common denominator amongst the 92 percentile is that they all have or had a 30-year home loan, principal and interest. And I'm going to show you some figures as to why so many Aussies struggle at retirement, and you'll see why the system is flawed. Okay? So, we've got choices. There's good news. We've all got choices, but we need to decide which class do we want to sit in? Do we want to, it's the sheep mentality. Do we want to look, see, most of us look at the sources around us. We go to the banks, they tell us P&I 30 years. We go to the mortgage broker, they tell us P&I 30 years. We look at family and friends, they tell us P&I 30 years. So, monkey see, monkey do. So we've got choices. There's the 95 percentile that will just, do what they think is the norm. And then there's the 1 percentile or 5% that don't settle for the status quo, that think outside the norm. And they're the people that end up in that top 5% at retirement. So the system, I've said a few times, this is the system. We are all integrated into the system from the moment we're born. We go to school, we go and get a higher education, we get our first job, and then we get married, and then a lot of us get a principal and interest for 30 years, and we're taken over by the system. So the choices that we have is, number one, we can pay our home loan off in approximately 5 years, or number two, we can stay trapped in the 30-year jail sentence, I like to call it. Now, again, what is it going to require to think outside the box? Now remember, we are limited by our belief system. Okay, we all make decisions based on what we know. So in order to change the circumstance, we need to be present to source a different style of information. We need to be open to the other possibilities. Okay, it's a little bit like anything in life. When you really want to do something, when you go to the gym and make a decision to shed, those extra 10 kgs, there's a time where you thought about it versus the time it took to actually make happen. What you realise, the time you thought about it took so much longer than it actually took to make happen. So we need to change the information source in order to get a different result. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a reality for anyone that has that's on a principal and interest for 30 years. This is where our hard-earned money goes. Okay, if you work a 5-day working week, know that 3 days out of our 5-day working week, our money goes purely to paying tax and home repayments. Okay? The next, 2 working days goes purely to cost of living, and then a third or, a quarter of the last working day is purely for some savings and a bit of super. That is where our money goes. Now, this here is the last 60 years of interest and inflation in our country. Okay, so it starts at 1960 to 2020. Now what you can see some huge variables, but have a look at what is happening right now. Right now, in 2022, can you see that inflation and interest rates are at a happy medium at the same level? Now, unfortunately, one of the reasons is the fake money that the government printed throughout COVID that had absolutely no value to our economy. So all these stimulus packages that was printed, which was fake money, had no value, has had a domino effect 2-3 years later. So there is no way to be able to figure out what's going on in this economy. The only way is for the banks and for the Reserve Bank to continue to raise interest rates to level out inflation. Okay? So as you can see, even back in the 90s when inflation was at something like 17-18%, inflation was much lower. Now we're not going to get to 17-18%, but we will definitely be hitting 7 to 10% by first quarter, second quarter of next year. So this is the reality. This is why the system is flawed. So if you have a look at right here, this is an example of an owner-occupier that has a $500,000 home loan. Okay. Now what you can see here, I'll just give you the scenario and I'll give you the figures. So this couple here, or whoever it is, this owner-occupier has a $500,000 home loan. Now a lot of people I know in this expo have a $500,000 or less or more $1,000 home loan. In this example, property value is $700,000. There's about a $200,000 equity. combined monthly income is around $10,000 a month. And we are being very kind here. This example is based on 30 years at an interest rate of 4.5, which is going to change in the next couple of months. So if you just take a look at this, someone that has a $500,000 mortgage today, in 30 years' time, with an interest rate of only 4.5, it's probably too low, will be paying total repayments by the end of the term of over $912,000. Out of that, the interest component is $412,000, over $412,000. Now, for you to go and give the bank $912,000, you've had to go and pay tax on that. So that's net. If we look at gross, you have had to go and work for $1.2 million and you have had to pay interest component gross of over $551,000. Now, if you just take a look at those figures right there and you wonder why so many of us end up relying on government assistance at retirement. So the system is flawed. And ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you all, go onto any bank website and click onto the home loan calculators. You will see, plug in your own figures, and you will clearly see why the banks take so much interest and principal over that time. See, the banks aren't scared to show you where your money's going. The problem is most people find it a bit boring, not really interesting, a bit numb to the whole situation, so decide to be oblivious to the realities. But the banks aren't scared to show you where your money's going. So I encourage you all, any major bank website, go to the home loan calculator and you'll see for the first 15 years of your home loan, you will be paying 85% just interest. Sorry, purely just interest. And that's why home loans don't go down fast in the first 5 years, the first 10. The first 15 is purely interest. You'll find your home loan starts to chip away much faster after the 15, 20-year mark because the banks want to make sure they get their money first. They don't work for you and I, they work for the shareholders, okay? That's where their biggest interest lies. So it doesn't have to be our reality, we just need to look at the other possibilities. So how do you find this information? How great does that sound, getting rid of the home loan in a significantly short period of time? Well, it's going to require you to seek new information. And just like anything, it's called, I don't know if anyone's heard of your reticular activating system, the RAT. It's basically, for example, if you buy a new car, suddenly you didn't see them on the road prior, but then you buy the new car, suddenly you see them all on the road. Anyone ever had that happen to them before? Yeah, got a few nods. It's the same thing here. The moment you make a decision to commit to something that's really important to you, by default, the environment around you begins to change. The information and the association around you begins to change. You get the answers that you need, but only when you're committed to making the change. So that's how you find the new source, and voila, a lot of you are listening to me right now. So what are the results of when you find this new information, a new way forward to get yourselves out of this slave mentality? Is right here, right now, this is how your money shifts. So yes, we're going to always have to pay tax, but let's pay as minimal as possible, okay? And so as you can see here, you'll see that you pay a lot less tax when you have a better strategy. You pay a lot less interest to the banks when you have a better strategy because you're removing 25 years of repayments. You're going to be more aware of your cost of living. I mean, I speak to clients every single day, and one common denominator is people don't really know how much they spend. I say just print out a statement of your FPOS accounts and have a look and see, and be very conscious of your cost of living. We don't like the word sacrifice away. It's about enhancing. We don't like it when you have to go without in order to get the ideal. You can have it all, but you just need to be smart about it. And then what will happen when you have a better way forward and a better plan is you'll be able to have more cash flow, so you have more savings, and you'll be able to contribute more, whether it's your super or you might want to choose to invest in self-managed super fund, wherever your goals, desires are. So why get into property? Why use property as your way to create wealth? Well, number one, it's a business. It's a great additional income stream. You're going to get rental income. That's just one of them. Number two, for those of you that are paying too much tax, it's a great way to reduce your income tax. Just one property alone, investment property, can reduce your income tax by approximately 30%, which obviously means you're going to have more cash flow. And of course, capital growth. Property is always going up. It's not going down. I'll show you the next slide. So of course, when you do invest in property, you'll be able to increase appreciation on that property. And of course, the only way, I'll just give you a little head start. So people often ask me, well, how do I pay off the home loan? Number one, the fundamental way to pay off a home loan within 5 years is to invest. And by doing so, you'll be able to reduce that 30-year mortgage to approximately 5 years. So if anyone whispers in your ears and tells you that, the property market's going to crash and, things are never going to be the same, I say turn off the TV and stop being drawn into the sensationalism on the media. Property is not going to go down. Okay, in the next 5 years, it's going to continue to grow like it always has. And here is the historical data in Australia for the last 120 years. And as you can see, as the population grew, housing prices just continued to grow and incline. So it's not going to change. And you can see from like 2020 to 2022, it's been like a vertical shift. So it's always a great time to get into the property market. So what are our core services? Well, I've mentioned the strategy over and over again because that is our expertise and that's what we specialise in. We educate, share and implement the strategy so our clients can pay off their home loan in 5 years. Number two, like I've mentioned previously, we will show you through doing that how to dramatically reduce your income tax. For those that are really committed to retiring financially strong, and even the young ones out there that would like to retire much earlier than the typical age group, well, you need to get prepared. So we show our clients a strategy to own 5 to 10 properties in approximately 10 years. And by default, when clients apply this, it's not just the strategy, it's a shift in the mindset because they are educated, they have a new skill set and they use it for the remainder of their life. So again, the information is a shift in the mindset and it is transformational. Our clients, we have long-term relationships with, so all of our services, our clients have access to for 10 years. So the additional services and what clients have available to them for 10 years is everything that you can see right here. So rental support, actually one of the main concerns I hear from first-time investors is, what if I can't get a tenant, which will not happen at the moment, but what if I can't get a tenant, or what if my tenant suddenly leaves and I struggle? Well, Landmark, I know that's a big concern for a lot of investors, so we cover that. So we have a rental support for 10 years for all of our investments so that investors can feel confident knowing that they have that part covered. So any sort of guidance that you require on your existing properties and on new properties, we provide advice. We have self-managed super fund experts that we can really assist you with, but most importantly, you have access, or clients have access to that information for over 10 years. It's just not a one-off. All of the information that you see here is over a 10-year period. And one thing I love, which is the very bottom one there, we have a program within Landmark, because we always want our clients to win, where they are in a position to earn $1,000 per hour just by doing something incredibly simple, just talking to people. So that's a program that Landmark have established for all of our clients. And we all know how hard we work to make $1,000, and there is a way to do that in an hour or less through a very simple process. There's opportunity available everywhere, we just need to be present to receive it. So let's talk about what our options are right now. Number one, you do nothing, you get nothing. So anyone heard of the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So number one, you do nothing, well, you just get more of what you already have. Or number two, if you are open to better ways and open to opportunities, then you need to take action and get the information that you require to make a decision. So look at the alternatives, get a better result. So what's the next step? Well, number one, make the decision that you want to improve your situation. And number two, if that's really a definite goal for you, come and see us. All our strategies and everything I've discussed with you today, we have over a meeting. You can schedule one. We're at booth C28, and now we have an awesome team there that can answer all your questions. But most importantly, if this area of your life is something that you really want to improve, then it's going to require a different version of you to achieve it. Because otherwise you would have already achieved it. You would already have the home loan paid off. So come and see us, book in a time, and come into our office. We're just on St Kilda Road in Melbourne. We've got all different mediums to use to be able to communicate with the changes of an environment. But you know what, face-to-face, there's nothing like face-to-face. So come and see us, we can help you out. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've been of value for you today, and have a remainder of a great afternoon. Thank you.